round. So they'll take on the Timberwolves for the fourth time today. Minnesota coming off a win on Friday night against Golden State. They'll be without the Ant-Man in this one. Has for the Kings, well, we know what happened on Thursday night. They got blown out at home by the Denver Nuggets. Was not pretty, 136-105. Jason, how are you this afternoon, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Lots going on, of course. The Niner game's going on.
Yes.
And just for people, just so full transparency, that game's on our HD Sactown channel at 96.1 FM. So just if you need to tune into that.
Closer than it needs to be.
It's 14-10 right now.
I mean, a good
Titans.
game. Yeah.
No doubt. A 2-win Tennessee team. San Francisco trying to get their 10th win of the year. But we're here to talk Kings basketball. And Jason, obviously Thursday night was another game of frustration for Sacramento. You and I, we don't get a chance to do enough shows together. I wish we had a chance to do more of them.
Yeah.
I feel like at the 25-game mark, we could go into the analysis of where this Kings team is at the quarter pole and start breaking it down, all of that. It doesn't feel like that's appropriate this year, though.
No, it's just everything's been off almost from the get-go, and the fact that, the schedule certainly has been tough. Yes, they've had injuries, but I think we all thought it was going to be a challenge for them. I think what I've been surprised by, Scott, is the amount of times that the games have been similar looking to Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gets blown out. That happens. You have a bad game. But there's been, 7, 8, 9 of those, where you're just going, they don't have a chance to win the game, and that's concerning to me.
No doubt. The amount of double-digit losses has been rough, and obviously the games that have been 20-plus points have been alarming as well. And we know Denver's a very good team, and they're a team that could compete for the championship. One of the things we will get into later on is who can compete against OKC. We saw what happened last night. Great win for the Spurs to give the Thunder their second loss. But as it pertains to Sacramento right now, obviously we know things are in flux. We know that this team won't be the same composition at the end of the year that it is right now, most likely. I mean, I guess it could be, but it certainly doesn't seem that way. And right now, just trying to find a way to make this team consistently competitive is really the task for Doug Christie, Scott Perry, the entire organization.
Yeah, and I think Doug's at times tried different lineups, some out of necessity due to injury. We're seeing a little bit more, Scott, of an influx of young players, but it's not like they've got a ton of young guys that are waiting to go, but that's Maxime Reno who's been starting. We saw Clifford start the other game, and we finally saw Carter play a little bit. But there's not 5 more of them waiting.
No.
It's kind of a veteran-oriented team, and they've played more of the veterans. And even when Sabonis comes back, I'm sure he's going right back into the lineup as he should. So until they make those other moves, if in fact they make those other moves, I think this is kind of what we're going to see. Maybe a sprinkling of a few more minutes with some young guys, but not that much.
No, for sure. And speaking of inside, Drew Eubanks is going to miss more time as well, as he has a fractured thumb. Same injury that Sabonis had, different hand. Of course, Sabonis missed one game, taped it up, so maybe Eubanks plays. Who knows? But it's been a rash of injuries for this Kings team. And I think another thing, in a course of what I would call a normal season, and right now it's not with the Kings at 6-19,
No.
you'd be talking about, okay, as you mentioned, tough schedule, injuries.
Yeah.
What would it look like if this team all came back together? Because the one thing that hasn't happened, I mean, Keegan Murray's back,
Right.
Sabonis is gone, but they have not been on the floor together. This entire team, as it was supposed to look, hasn't played a single game together.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, they haven't. But I think even in the sample size of when the majority have been there, we just haven't seen that many good minutes together.
No.
So I wouldn't want them, and I don't think the Kings are feeling this way, to be confused by that. I mean, I think you have to be fair. Sabonis is a really good player, and having him back will help the team. But is it going to make them 30 points better in some of these blowout losses? But I would like to see a 5-game stretch of what they intended their starting lineup to be. But it's still, all in all, I have maintained I think they're better than 6-19, but not that much. I mean, I don't think they should be 19-6 by any means. But could they be closer to a 10-win team right now, which still isn't very good?
No doubt. And what Bill Parcells always said,
Your record.
You are who your record is. And unfortunately, that's what it is for Sacramento right now. And as you look at the Western Conference standings, the Kings right now, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable, but they're tied with the Clippers, who are also 6-19. And I know going into the year, I thought this Clippers team was going to be a team that could compete for an NBA championship.
When they were here, and again, it's totally unfair to do it in the preseason, but that's the only time we see them. They came through. I thought they looked amazing. Yeah. And their starting five was great. Their bench came in and looked great. Yes, it was against the Kings, but even then I thought there are elements here that the Clippers, and they've been good before, so I thought they could be really good. So the other thing I thought you were going to say is tied with the Clippers is stunning, but the other day I actually looked at the top 10, and I went, okay, well, the Kings are probably like, what are they, 8, 7 back? I'm like, no.
No, it's not that bad.
Isn't it 3?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel like they're even competing for that, but they are 3 games out of the 10th seed, I think, or 3.5 maybe.
Yeah, 3.5. The Mavs are 10-16 right now.
Which is bad.
Very bad.
Yeah.
For sure. So there's a lot of bad teams on the lower half of the Western Conference. And
very
I guess
top-heavy.
That's still somewhat of a goal, I guess, for Sacramento. Nobody in this town, I think you and I agree, feel excited about a play-in scenario right now. In previous years, I think we did, after the Beam Team year and getting the third and then getting to a play-in, beating Golden State the year after, felt a little better. Obviously, the way they got waxed against Dallas last year in the play-in games kind of soured that quite a bit. But it's just, again, trying to figure out how to assess this team and what to look for. When I ask Henry, you ask him the same questions. What are the keys tonight? What are you looking for tonight? It really just starts with playing hard.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and competing and finding like some success in long stretches, because there's always moments in the game. Now, even if we go to Thursday where they get blown out by 30 against a good team, I would say the first 6 minutes, you're like, all right, it's back and forth. Yeah. But that was 6 minutes. I mean, that game just started.
Right.
And after that, I thought when they're trying to win the game, they're down 15 after the first quarter. All right, Jokic is going to the bench. Here's a window. If you're going to be competitive in this game, you have to gain ground while Jokic is out. They lost ground. No doubt. It's like this game, it's not going to come back. It's not going to get better. Jokic finishes the half, starts the second half. The game gets upwards of 30, and that thing's over. So you're looking for longer stretches of good basketball, and that has just been escaping this team.
It has been, and obviously that start to the second half was rough for Sacramento.
Yeah.
It's one thing to go on a 10-0 run and be on the bad side of it, but it wasn't even close.
No.
Some of those baskets were automatic layups, and I understand it was Jokic, but he felt uncovered, and it literally felt like he was Godzilla out there at times, right? And the Kings were just trying to swipe at him at times.
Yeah, and much when we kind of said this, well, hey, rookie, good luck. You're going to get a chance, and these are moments you want him to go through. But then when you see it in real time, you're like, oh, man, poor Maxime Renaud and poor anybody who helped. They're getting switches, and Westbrook's on him or DeRozan's on him. I'm like, they are undersized. They were undersized against Denver, and one of the best big men of all time just crushed them.
No question. And then Valanciunas came in and was perfect, literally perfect too. Between Valanciunas and
they miss
Jokic, 2 shots. If you look at their combined chart scoring in that game, Jokic was 14 of 16, and Valanciunas off the bench was 7 of 7. So it was 21 of 23. That was kind of like a Bill Walton night back in the NCAA tournament when he put up 40-something in Memphis in the final game. One of the greatest games in, I know it's college history. You can't really compare the same, but combined 21 of 23.
Yeah, and I think, of all the things the Kings have done, and there's plenty of things to be critical of, and the one I sometimes you just don't even understand moves. Moves don't work out sometimes. But the Valanciunas one of, just not having him still on this roster. And I know there was some concern about him not playing in the NBA and going overseas. Well, Denver talked him into playing. And
right. Well, they basically told him,
you're not going. Yeah. So could the Kings have done that? Did they not want to do that? Was there another move on the horizon? It just, for a very small team, Valanciunas was good when he was here. He could really help the team, and I think he's really good for Denver. So just one I didn't quite understand.
He's the perfect backup.
Yeah, he is.
There's no question, and obviously on a very good team.
Yes,
too,
good spot for him.
Makes the big difference there.
Yeah.
A couple of other things, and again, because I get the good fortune of working with you today, the couple of other things that always bounce around is obviously Russell Westbrook's maybe been the biggest bright spot for Sacramento. And you can't question anything he's done. His effort's been remarkable, and the triple-doubles. He's done everything that you would think Russell Westbrook would do at any time in his career in Sacramento. But on the other side of that, has it been at the expense of everything else transitioning maybe a little bit quicker? Because we know Westbrook's in his 18th year. He's not going to be here that long, most likely. is it at the expense of seeing this transition with the Kings not going quicker?
Yeah, I think that's another reason to be a proponent of making a trade, whether it's 1, 2, 3, whatever the Kings do, to open up, to unlock some things. There is a logjam at guards. Could that free up some minutes more for Clifford or Ellis or whoever, Carter? But the odd thing, I know you've got last game's box score in front of you.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook put up numbers. I actually thought it was one of his worst games. He didn't have as many turnovers as he normally does. He scored points, but it just didn't feel right to me. And he had some passes that probably should have been turned over that tipped off players. But it was a clunky game for the team and for Russ. And he's been good. Yeah. I just didn't think he was particularly good against Denver.
It wasn't one of his best games, especially against Denver, who he always has pretty good revenge games against. I think Denver had a revenge game against.
They countered him.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, again, by the standard of just playing hard, I mean, that's why, he's become a fan favorite.
Yes.
He's been that his whole career, but it's just we're seeing it firsthand in Sacramento.
And you hope that's bleeding over, maybe. I don't know if it does to a Clifford or Carter or Reno. I hope it does.
Well, and that's the other thing. Just going down the list, because you and I don't get to talk about it a lot, but Devin Carter is another guy who's not playing much, but people want to talk about it. And you and I have seen a lot of Kings basketball, and we could identify over decades of watching the Kings, when you start talking about 10th, 11th, 12th men, as if they're the difference maker. It talks more about your team than the players. And I'm not necessarily saying that Devin Carter, that's what he'll be his entire career. It's still only his second year. I don't think it's fair to give that evaluation. But fans are clamoring to see him more. Obviously, Keon, who's a little more proven too.
Yeah.
But in Carter's case, to his credit, maybe to his defense a little bit, when he's been out there, he's shown some good things.
Yeah, I think, to put it in a nutshell for the fans, of what I believe, and I don't know if you agree with this, Scott, is that if you're going to struggle, if you're going to be 6-19, then you'd rather be young and struggling, because then that believes that there's some hope. I think that's the general thought. Now, that's not always the case. A lot of teams get to the lottery and they stay there for years. Kings were an example of that. And I agree with you. Our fans are funny, and they're, we have great fans, but I can agree with them, but also kind of question some things. Like, I felt like people at times have felt like Keon is Michael Jordan in his prime.
The magical answer.
Yeah, and I'm like, I agree that Keon should be playing more, but I'm also thinking, guys, you're losing by 30. I don't think Keon's covering the difference, but in the same sentence, I think he should be playing more. So same with Carter. I'd just like to see him more, but it's tough to not play Levine and DeRozan and Westbrook. These are proven great veterans. I know it's not getting any results for the team in the win column, but that's a tough group to start putting on the bench until that's why I think it makes more sense to trade them.
For sure. By the way, Zach LaVine is ready to go tonight. He'll be back after missing Thursday night, so that is good news. Dennis Schroeder continues to be out for Sacramento.
Man.
We'll get that in our next segment. But the other thing that gets brought up a lot, and I think you and I have good perspective on it, just the fans in general, like, what should they expect from this Kings team? Obviously, everybody wants a winner. We understand that. And you and I, first and foremost, we love this team. We've been here a long time. We've covered it for a long time. We've seen a lot of downs. We've seen some ups, too, the good, bad, everything else. And I just think when it comes to the fans, everybody just judges for themselves what they want to do. For example, on Thursday night, it's not a great thing if you're a Kings fan per se, but to watch what Jokic did, just to be in that building for that, to me, is worth the price of admission. Now, granted, I didn't pay to go to that game, so I guess it's easier said than done, but I would have done that just to be a part of the NBA experience and be there. As frustrating as it was to see the Kings not play well and to be basically a non-competitive game, there was still something there that was extraordinary and in a way fun to watch. Not fun that it was against the Kings, but just to respect that talent and to see one of the greatest players in the world.
I've always appreciated the greatness of the league and other players. Now, I wish it was all on the Kings. That's the perfect world. But I agree with you. To watch Murray develop and get better, and certainly Jokic orchestrate just everything, and you marvel at some of the things he can do on a nightly basis. And it was interesting because you were at the game Thursday, too, and the way it was going, it felt like maybe the group that was there that night, and it was a makeup game, so it's the schedule was added late, and it wasn't as full of a crowd, but the Kings fans are all into it. But it felt like there could have been like a boo-worthy performance. Like, people just seemed to be more accepting of the game. Like, well, all right, we're not better than Denver. And
accepting, or I might use the word numb.
Yeah. I don't blame them.
No, I know. And it's just, again, like, we work in the world of sports talk. love or hate.
Yeah.
Either one can be great.
Right.
But not caring.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they weren't caring. But
no.
To your point, I think if that's early in the year, you're hearing more boos.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd popped when Peyton Watson missed 2 free throws. Everybody got free pizza. They were down by 29 points.
Right.
And everybody went nuts. Yeah. And you just go, man. And I know the Kings can play better than that. Denver's better than them. That's not a earth-shattering statement, but you just want to have a chance to compete and scare them. And you beat them the last time you played them.
Exactly. And that's the other thing that's hard to understand. And we've got to take a break, but we saw the Kings beat Denver on the road.
Yeah.
Now, Denver's on the back-to-back. Okay, fine. But beat Minnesota at home in overtime. Come back from 10 down with 3 to go. So it's I wouldn't call it fool's gold, but you have an expectation, okay, this team has the ability to do that. But when you look in the big picture of the NBA and you look at all 30 teams have the abilities. And if you look at any one of the 30 teams, they're going to have a quote-unquote couple signature wins, despite their overall record.
Yeah, and the Kings have a few. Not enough, but a few.
No. All right, we got to get to the break. Game day is underway. We're here live from the Sactown Sports Studios. We're on our YouTube as well. You can join the chat room. Go to YouTube, Sactown Sports 1140. Please sign up and join our site if you're not there already. More of Game Day right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels of $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Game night in Sacramento? Light up your night at Revival at the Sawyer. This rooftop hotspot is where the city comes alive. Elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the Golden One Center. Celebrate the wins, escape the chaos, and be part of the scene before, during, and after every Kings game. Revival, the place to see and be seen. When the final buzzer sounds, the energy doesn't stop. It just moves upstairs. Join fellow fans, stay close to the action, and make every Kings night unforgettable. Book your game day reservation at RevivalSacramento.com.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800 gambler.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Welcome back into Game Night right here, Sactown Sports, 1140 Kings and Timberwolves. Add-on game, Game 4. We're here until 3:30. If you want to join us, give us a call, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We're in our YouTube chat as well, right there at Sactown Sports. You can watch us there. Another thing I want to talk about, Jason, because you and I just don't get a chance to do it enough. So I understand that at 82 games, things balance out over 82 games. That's what they say. I don't really believe in that. Like, I don't understand how the NBA can't figure out to put a schedule that's better distributed than what the Kings have had to play. I don't care what the rationale is, but the Kings should not have had to play OKC all 3 times, play Denver all 3 times, play Minnesota all 3 times in the first 20-something games of the season, and then get add-on games with Denver and Minnesota.
11 of their 26 will be these 3 teams, and they're all very good, specifically the first 2, Denver and OKC. But it's just ridiculous. Now, I guess on the positive side, finally, after today, they're done with those teams. But, I mean, that's a tough ask. And the fact that, you're going to play the Clippers 4 times, haven't seen them. Right. There's a few other teams in the West you haven't seen. You're going to play all those teams in the East. Haven't played that many teams in the East. Now, you'll play all 82, but the fact that these 2 were the teams that were added after it was so front-loaded with them already on the schedule made it crazy.
It does, and just even from a fan's perspective, you want to see them playing. I mean, it feels like mini-series early in the year.
Right. And even this, look, I get it. One has to be home, one has to be on the road, but it's just a quick trip to Minnesota, which isn't that convenient, but I mean, it's part of the way the league works, and then you bounce right back, and you got Portland and Portland this week, one on the road, one at home. But it just, I don't know. And I noticed that you were at the game the other night, and it was something I noticed kind of across the league. I don't know how the league fixes it, but when you add games this late, it was a lower crowd, but that's been kind of standard because most people like to know their plans, and this team's coming in. I want to go to that Warrior game, or I want to go to this game, and Denver's a good team, but it just. Denver should have had a larger crowd than it did. Yeah,
and I actually thought it ended up being a pretty good crowd.
Yeah.
And the attendance was 16,307, at least by total attendance or however they calculate that. But I think you're right, and it is tough for people just to react on that. What about just the Cup in general? I mean, I'm curious on your thoughts. I think here in Sacramento, it's been a non-factor for us because we just haven't been involved in it enough. Obviously, with what happened last night with San Antonio beating OKC, gives it a little bit more of a credence, and maybe it's setting up a potential I wouldn't say rivalry, but just more excitement about what that potential matchup could be if they get matched up later off in the playoffs. But what do you think so far about this a couple of years into it?
I think the league, it's obviously important to the league. We knew that from the get-go, and I think the first year was pretty successful. I think they liked how it looked. I think
they got the Lakers.
They got the Lakers. They got a lot of players
the banners up.
A lot of players seemingly were buying in.
Yeah.
I think they're not quite there, and I don't know what the fix is. I like that they're keeping it true to the regular season, with the exception of now the Cup Championship is not a regular season game. But last night's game was phenomenal, but that could have also just been Spurs, OKC, any time of the year. So I don't know. I don't love the fact of hey, the winner gets in a playoff spot, winner gets a lottery pick. I don't know what the right incentive. The players seem to be okay with the money. I just mean more for the fans. The courts are different. Uniforms can be different. That's fine, but I don't think they've quite hit the sweet spot, and I don't have the answer. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it feels like it's already faded a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It may be because we're here in Sacramento, right?
Yeah, if the Kings were in it, I think we'd be way more into it. But and what do you think? This is the one thing I wonder, Scott. Maybe let's use this year's Sacramento Kings team. So in the same record, 6-19.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, they won all the Cup games.
Yep.
So on a like if there was ever a terrible year team that got through, like everybody that made it is pretty good.
Sure.
Which is also good for the league.
Would you want the banner up at Golden One Center?
Yes. But if, that's kind of the charm of March Madness. If there's an underdog team or somebody gets through the NBA, it's hard to have a underdog. But I guess in this case, like a 6-9 team's not going to make the postseason most likely.
Right.
But if they made the cup, or if you made it truly like a bracket like March Madness and played it that way where one game, the Kings could beat the Thunder. I don't think they would, but in one game maybe. And I don't know what the answer is, but I don't know. We haven't had like a wild card Cinderella team get through yet.
No, that's true. And
maybe they never will.
And it happens early in the year too. So I just don't know if all the eyeballs are fully ready for this yet either.
What about, would you be for if it was a little longer? Like maybe this is phase 1 and then the second phase was mid to late January.
Yeah, maybe you have 2 stretches.
And then,
possibly.
It's 8 games, so it's still league play, but now it means a little bit more. Now you're playing in late January in Vegas or the All-Star break. And I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Would it make sense to give the teams that make it extra points somehow or something like that? I mean, obviously it's a win-loss league. It's not like hockey where you're getting 3 points for a win, or soccer or something like that. But I don't know what the answer is either. But I think for Sacramento, even if somehow all of these 6 wins were cup wins and we were in the finals, I mean, it would be weird. It'd be more important than winning Summer League, which the Kings have done. But I mean, at that point, I don't think it's still an asterisk, right?
Yeah, but you'd feel like you're competing for something. You're like, well, look, they're showing something, and then at this point, they'd be playing against even better teams. And hey, can they actually advance? And they went to Vegas. I think that'd be fun for people. But I mean, they got the right teams there. That's fine. It's good for the league to have. I mean, now what? Spurs and Knicks.
Yeah, and that's a good matchup. And I think it's also interesting that the semifinals is on the weekend, and then you've got the championship game coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah,
I don't know. It seems a little weird. I mean, the build-up to me would be like the finals would be on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't.
Well, I think part of the struggle, too, is they're trying to keep it as authentic to the regular season, not create this long gap. And, again, I don't know where you find the answer in that.
I think for a lot of fans, it's just another game, different court.
Yeah. I think so, too.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, and especially this year, Scott, when the Kings started in their pool, which was particularly tough, but they started 0-2. You're like, well, they're out. I mean, there's 2 more games, but they will not make it. They'd have to win both games by 70 or something and get a ton of help, and we just knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, no. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about Dennis Schroeder a little bit, too. He's missed 7 games. Didn't feel like it was going to be this long, and, again, not entirely sure when he's coming back. What does that mean for the Kings? And as you know, you've hosted this show on occasion. We've got our Firehouse Restaurant, Who's on Fire, Bank of Marin, put in the bank, couple features we'll let you think about as well. We'll go around the league, get you caught up on the other games going on here on a Sunday afternoon in the association. It's game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another 3-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not.
Of course he did, right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part? You can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Nice. My side of the tree is slipping.
Tim back!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port-in and new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's holiday food drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today. Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
Target's last-minute deals are here, right on time to get you holiday ready in no time. Snap beauty gift sets for every style, the hottest toys, can't miss entertainment, crowd-pleasing candy, and much more. All under $20. Whether you're hosting or welcoming surprise guests, you'll be ready for all of it for less. Grab them now before they're gone. Last-minute deals under $20. Happening now, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Welcome to the game night. Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh with Jason Ross. That's right. Jay Ross here with me this afternoon. High flyer with the day off. Getting you ready for the Kings and Timberwolves. 4 o'clock from Minnesota. G-Man with the call. I don't know what the weather is in Minnesota today, but I do know I looked at what it was going to be in Fargo yesterday because I assumed that UC Davis was going to be in Fargo. They ended up hosting that playoff game. Unfortunately, the Aggie season's over after losing at home to Illinois State. But if we'd gone to Fargo, it was supposed to be minus 12 yesterday for a high.
And I know you would have been glad if you did that they were inside.
Yes,
but that doesn't mean there aren't moments where you're outside. That's where Minnesota's really clever. They have
so much inside.
The whatever I call them, the hamster trails.
Right.
Like if you're going from building to building, you could stay in those things. Well, Scott, right now the temperature, it's Chris Webber. It's 4
degrees.
4.
All right. Well, at least it's positive.
Yeah. Feels like minus 10 though.
I'm sure G-Man got some good food somewhere still.
Yeah. Oh, he did that. He definitely did that. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what the Kings are contending. They go in 6-19. Minnesota, the team will break down a little bit more in our next segment. The Timberwolves are 16-9, and we'll get into it a little bit more if they're a team who can actually contend or not with the way the Thunder are playing right now. I want to talk about Dennis Schroeder. He's listed as questionable. Yep. He's been listed as questionable for many games. Usually, NBA vernacular, questionable is usually 50-50. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of times you see somebody who's listed as questionable, they play.
Yeah.
NFL, I think it's a little different. Questionable is almost like doubtful to the NBA in terms of terminology. I don't think Dennis Schroeder's playing today, but we haven't gotten official news on that.
Yeah, but if you get questionable to your point in the NBA for a game, then you're like, all right, well then he missed tonight, but he's playing the next game.
Yeah.
But that's been a while here.
It has.
And once he got switched to the bench role, I actually think that's been a good spot. That's been the best we've seen Dennis Schroeder as a King. And I know they've got 8 million guards, but they don't have a lot of point guards. And I don't think that's Ellis's best spot or Carter's or Monk's. And so they do miss Dennis Schroeder. Again, I don't think he's making up a 30-point difference, but if you start Westbrook and bring in Schroeder off the bench, that's the best that position will look for this team.
It's worked out better for the team.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. Conspiracy theorists are saying that the Kings are holding him out with the deadline coming up tomorrow. You and I are just speculating because we don't have any word on that. I mean, he's legitimately injured.
Right.
Now, whether it's being prolonged or who knows on that front. I guess the bigger question I have is they went out and got Dennis Schroeder in the offseason. They wanted him to be a big piece of what was going on.
Yeah.
Do you think he is somebody that they would move that quickly. I mean, I guess anybody's fair game almost, minus Keegan and maybe the two rookies, and maybe they are as well.
I would think they would be too. I mean, in an extreme situation, but I think those guys aren't the targets they're looking to move. I would say that where they are at 6-19 and following Scott Perry's track record of what happened in New York, where he cleared that roster basically within about 2 seasons, I would say nobody should feel comfortable.
Sure.
I mean, 6-19 can't be what he wants, what he has claimed that he wants, which is sustained winning. Well, they're not doing that at all. They're far from it. So, and especially when you look at some of these other teams, they're not built the same way that, an OKC to Denver to Houston is. So they got some work to do, and I would say everybody's up for grabs. The hard part, Scott, as you mentioned it, tomorrow is December 15th. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, the 15th.
It is.
And that's kind of the day it opens up for everybody that was signed in the offseason, or the majority of the people.
Right.
But that's the opening. That's not the deadline. So, February is the deadline. So it doesn't mean trades will happen tomorrow, but I think conversations have been had, and maybe they'll start heating up a little bit more.
Yeah, we live in a world of now.
I want it tomorrow.
But
Let's
Scott
go.
Perry's not operating in that time frame. And, he came on with the Drive guys and told Kevin basically, don't expect things overnight.
Come on.
Now, he also pushed back on the timeline being 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Who can determine what the timeline is? And in the world of sports in general, whether it's the NBA or we talk a lot about college football or whatever, it's hard to determine any timeline in the world of sports now.
Yeah, I think, to me, I start to look at the NBA almost like in 2-year stretches, because 3 starts to, you go back on almost every roster 3 years ago, and it's dramatically different from the coach to the players. It really is. And so you kind of think of it, you're trying to establish a core as quickly as possible and then build around that, and then it even tweaks around that. And I don't think the Kings are there at all. And I think at one point they thought it was Fox and Sabonis, and they've already kind of tweaked a little bit off of that and could be more in the future. But yeah, they're ways away.
They are. Now, best case scenario, everybody got healthy for Sacramento. Sabonis is back. Schroeder's back. He's playing his 6-man role. You've got Keegan and Sabonis together. What do you think is best case for this team if they didn't change anything? Like, is this a potential 40-win team at its very best 30-win team?
I don't think so. I think there's still flaws in the roster as far as, one, size is a problem even when everybody's back. Defense has been a problem.
It has.
With everybody. So I just think there's too many things that hurt them. I don't think they're a great shooting team. To me, I think when we see the best version of them is when Zach LaVine has a really good offensive game. They've got multiple guys that play well offensively. They rebound, limit turnovers, and scratch and claw a few defensive possessions out. But that to me is the best version of the team. But you're kind of looking for everything to go right.
For sure. What's your theory on Zach LaVine? Because obviously he started out so great, had those 5, maybe it was 6, 30-point plus games to start the year. Went quiet. He had a 42-point game recently, but it's been a little bit of a roller coaster up and down. And, Henry and I always talked about Harrison Barnes. I'm not saying Zach LaVine and Harrison Barnes are the same player, but one night you could see Harrison Barnes go for 20 or 25, and he had 10, 15 shots. Another game, it'd be 4, 6 points, 2 or 3 shots, no rebounds, and 1 assist. It's still early in the season, but your thought of why we haven't maybe seen more consistency there?
I don't have a great answer, because I know like the Miami game, he was phenomenal, and I think he even had a comment after, just look what happens when you get me the ball. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the case for him, because I think the next game or 2 games later, he had a bunch of shots and didn't make him. Now to defend him, he's normally a very efficient player, and I always say that's why you have averages. When guys like Barnes was averaging, 14, he might get that 28, but if he gets 28, there's a 4, 6, or 8 coming up.
Sure.
But LaVine lives in the 20s, and so I would rather him get 20 consistently, or maybe a bad night be 20, good nights 30, not the 42 back down to 9. He's had too many of the games that are unlike him, and Scott, I don't think he provides a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's why he has to score. You're a shooter. You're an efficient shooter. You can stretch the floor. He's a great athlete. Be that guy, because if he's getting 9, he's probably getting 2 boards and an assist. That's not, and he's not a great defender. That's not helping you.
No, it's not enough. And obviously the difference between Zach and Harrison. Zach is your A guy. He's your number 1 look. Harrison Barnes is your 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th look based on what it's going on. So you need Zach LaVine they give you 20 plus consistently.
Yes.
And that just hasn't happened either. So,
yeah. I mean, what do you I'll turn the question back to you. What do you think is the best version? No trades happen. Everybody's healthy. Schedule will soften up a little bit, but the last, 57? Man, what do you think they can be?
I honestly thought coming into this year, this team was definitely a play-in team and was probably hovering around 35 wins, maybe up to 40. Now, again,
that would be playing because the bottom's bad.
Exactly. And that's what I was just going to say, because there's so many teams that aren't good right now in the league. I mean, should the Kings be better than the Pelicans? Yes. The Jazz? I think so, yes. The Grizz are playing obviously better. They got John
I thought
Morant
they'd be better
back.
than the Suns,
For
but
sure.
they're not.
The Suns are actually surprising the league right now and playing pretty well. What's also apparent with Sacramento is it's an aging team that's not real athletic. Right. So, I mean, they've got a good group of a lot of players who have done well over the years. Collectively, it's an older team. When they don't shoot the ball well, they're not athletic enough to make up for it. And they certainly don't have enough size inside. We knew that all along, and they just haven't been able to compensate for getting, hammered on the glass.
Yeah, and I thought it would be – I had questions defensively, and that's lived up to it. But I thought they'd be a top 10 offense, and they're not at all. Like, there's games where they struggle to get to 100, and I thought –
that's the most surprising thing to
I
me,
agree.
why they're not better offensively.
Yeah, and generally if you're bad, like at least, hey, you score 130, but you lost 138 to 130, they're struggling to get to 100 sometimes here, and it's like, man, I thought they would be a lot better than they are offensively.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. All right, before we get to the break, we've got to get to our Firehouse Restaurant Who's on Fire. Normally I let High Flyer pick who's on fire. I don't know if you did the thing when you're filling in for me. Yes, we can get the theme music going. But obviously it's anything that's going on, not just with the Kings, but anything around the league that you think qualifies for Who's on Fire. It could be good or bad. It could be a dumpster fire. That's still a fire.
Yes, that's true.
So you can go that direction too. Now, the Firehouse Restaurant is certainly not a dumpster fire. It's one of the great iconic restaurants in Sacramento, located in Old Town Sac, right off 2nd Street. It's a great place to go before that game or concert. Quick and easy meal, valet parking for just under $10. Jay-Bird, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with the team that cooled off a hot team, the Spurs.
Yeah.
Last night. That was a great win. They got Wembanyama back, had limited minutes. But
brought him off the bench.
Yes. And that's the kind of thing that, look, I think what OKC is doing is absolutely unheard of. And they are absolutely amazing. But it now gives you hope for maybe Denver and Houston and the Spurs and others to go, hey, they can lose. They've lost twice now. It's only 2. But that was pretty great. It was a great game, too, by the way.
It was a really good game, and I think people now are envisioning that's going to be the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, could be, and could be for years. They're both really set up very, very well.
Yeah. All right. I like that for Who's on.
Spurs.
I like that. That's a good call.
Not a dumpster fire.
No, they're definitely not a dumpster fire whatsoever. That's a good call. Who's on Fire brought to you by the Firehouse Restaurant. And, again, the Spurs with Wemby are going to be an amazing team for the future. OKC, Wall Street Journal writing, are they one of the best teams of all time? I don't think we can say that now based on the history of other teams, but I will ask you the question. Project out 5 years from now in your crystal ball. Do you think we will be talking about OKC as one of the greatest teams of all time? When we get and talk on game night in 2030, will we be talking about the dynasty of the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I'm going to say no. Yeah, I don't think so.
Why
but
not?
I don't have a great. I mean, I think if they back it up and get a second win this year, and then also like break a record of wins, like then yes, that completely changes things. But
I'm just saying, do you think they'll do it?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just the league's too competitive. They don't have enough.
I think they can go get any, like they can get Giannis, and I understand why they won't, because it's not broken by any means.
Yeah.
I think I would be more aggressive if I were saying Presti, and not because he's done an amazing job, but they've got picks and picks and picks and young talented players that they literally could probably get any player to make it even more difficult and more invincible. But I don't fault him for not tweaking it. I mean, it's not broken.
No doubt.
But they have the assets to go get somebody else.
They do. It's interesting. I mean, people debate whether the Kings should have gone out and done more after the Beam team here, right? And sat pat in that second year, and you couldn't really argue it because they were third place in the Western conference. It didn't work out. OKC's in a much different situation. But
Completely.
what you're arguing is kind of the same debate.
Yeah.
Are you trying to go out and get something to make yourself better, or is what you have good enough with all the draft picks on top of it? Personally, I wouldn't mess with Giannis.
You wouldn't?
He's one of the greatest players in the world.
Health?
No, I'm more concerned just about the attitude and what's happened in Milwaukee with him. I just wonder how much he would demand and take away from that. But obviously, he is one of the top 5 players in the world. Rank it however you want, but that's an interesting discussion. All right, we got to take the break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Timberwolves here. Get you ready. Kings and Minnesota coming up. 4th and final. This will be the final matchup, right?
Yes.
Between these two teams?
To the conference finals.
In the regular season, anyways. All right, we'll get to that. Our Bank of Marin, put it in the bank coming up as well. Game night right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Now is the time before winter is full on in your kitchen to make sure your heat or your furnace is ready. How do you do that? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating will get the job done for you like they did for me last winter when our system crashed and burned in the dead of winter. Check them out, leesair.com. Right now, get $100 off any AC heating or plumbing repair. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating does it all, and they've been doing it at a high level for 40 years. See how they can help you stay warm and cozy all winter at leesair.com. That's Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Welcome back in the game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Final segment. It's a quick one before Jason takes over for Kings Live pregame. We'll jump right to it. Minnesota, the competition tonight for Sacramento. They're 16 16-9. Playing good basketball right now. Got a win against Golden State on Friday night. No Anthony Edwards tonight for the T-Wolves. Didn't play on Friday night. Didn't matter. They got a win against Golden State. The Timberwolves are at 6th place in the Western Conference. Are they a threat? How far can they go in the Western Conference?
Yeah, what's interesting is I felt the same way about them for a couple years, Scott, but they've made it to the conference finals, so maybe I should have a different opinion on them. I know Ant's such a special player, and obviously
but they made it to the Western Conference finals, different group, too.
Yes, that's true. But it just, I think it made sense to make the trade that they did to move off from Town. So I like the addition of DiVincenzo and Randall in there. And when they're all healthy, they've got a great interior defender in Gobert. They've got a franchise player, certainly in Ant. But I feel like in good wing, I mean, they just have so many like 6'8", 6'9" guys. But even like losing Nickeil Alexander-Walker and little things they lost in the offseason, I feel like they're a team that needs to be a little bit more aggressive come trade deadline, because I would put Houston, Denver, OKC, maybe even the Spurs above them, and they're good, and they're still have. It's not like they're aging out, so they're starting to see some of these teams maybe pass them if they get the Lakers just on their talent. Would the Lakers beat them? So I mean, there's some tough matchups for them.
I agree. Is the Ant-Man again your crystal ball 5 years out? Are we going to be talking to him? Maybe not in the same stratosphere, but maybe just under, say, like a Kobe. I just love the way he plays the game, his effort, the way he scores, the way he defends, everything else, just his body, his attitude, everything. I would put him in the same mold as that. He doesn't have all the cred, certainly.
Right.
I mean, and Jordan's crazy to even say, but Kobe. But 5 years from now, if they win a championship or two.
Oh, yeah. Then it's totally different set because he's going to be a big reason why they did that. But I think you also have to be careful of like what we just talked about with Giannis. Like Milwaukee's in a spot where it doesn't feel like they can win a championship and they've got a star player. Do you keep going and try to, or is it better to move on from them? Minnesota's not in that spot yet, but that moves fast. And if these other teams truly do pass them and let's say they finish where they are as a 6 seed, that's not what they think they have in this team, and they've made trades to be better than that. So they'll be in a decision-making point. At some point, they're just not there now.
Yeah, agreed. All right, we've only got a couple of minutes. It's time for our Bank of Marin. Put it in the bank. So, you know what that is.
Is that the bank?
It is. The bank is open on Sunday. Good job, Ramsey, there. Anything that you can put in the bank, and again, it doesn't have to be Kings related. It could be NBA related. Anything. Maybe it's your own piggy bank. I don't care. What do you think for the Bank of the Marin? Put it in the bank today.
Put it in the bank today. Let's see. I'm going to make it Kings related.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a put it in the bank. You know what? I think Russ is going to bounce back from his game. I think he's going to have one of those. I think it's triple-double 208.
I like
for
it.
Russell Westbrook tonight.
Okay.
208th of his great career.
I'm going to go along the same lines. Put it in the bank that the Joker is going to surpass Russell Westbrook and easily become the all-time triple-double leader.
Yeah.
He's at 175 right now.
Yeah, catch him next season.
Yeah, will he catch Russell when he's still playing?
Right, that's a good point.
The question.
Yeah.
All right, that's the Bank of Marin. Put it in the bank. All right, final thoughts. What are you looking forward to today?
That compete level, like be in the game, have a chance to win, get in the fourth quarter. You've played well in Minnesota before. You've been able to beat this team before. They don't have Ant, so that's one thing that they should feel good about. And let's see if they can be in this game and, hey, maybe light the beam.
Hey, just like to see that beam through the fog light up the Sacramento skylight. Hopefully that can happen today. All right, that does it for game night coming up. Kings Live pregame. By the way, is it Kings pregame live or Kings Live pregame?
It's Kings Live pregame.
That's what I say. Yeah. I see it on TV. It says Kings pregame live. I got to get out of here. Anyways, you're coming up next. That's game night. Sactown Sports 1140. Have a great night, everyone.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball